save the world. I am your friend.
No, I don't think so. Whoa, wait, there's a person in there. There's a person in there with their... Wait, what? So... I'm confused now. I thought that... Is that the professor? Man, I thought that Manus was just personifying the machine through his alternate personality.
Please, I am no more evil than you. We sought the same thing, to save humanity, ridding them of their painful, stupid, pointless lives. Mandus, stop. Think about what you are doing. For your children, Mandus.
Do not speak of my children, monster.
I did not kill your children, Mandus. You sacrificed them on the temple steps, knowing what the coming century would do to them.
Aha!
Your sons will drown, lungs full of mud and shrapnel on the banks of the Somme. You wanted to save them from the horror to come. That is the vision we shared. Everything we have built to avert this coming nightmare. You and I are one. We are the same. Our souls are entangled. We deserve to make them free.
So earlier when I said that he sacrificed his kids, I was actually correct. All right then. What?
Daddy.
I have stood knee-deep in mud and bone and filled my lungs with mustard gas. I have seen 2 brothers fall. I have lain with holy wars and copulated with the autumnal fallout. I have dug trenches for the refugees. I have murdered dissidents where the ground never thaws and starved the masses into pain. A child's shadow burnt into the brickwork. A house of skulls in the jungle. The innocent Mandus trod and bled and gassed and starved and beaten and murdered and enslaved. This is your coming century. They will eat the Mandus. They will make pigs of you all, and they will bury their stamps into your ribs, and they will eat your hearts. Please, Mandus, no. For your children.
lay there and watched the god I had created die. At the end, when we were cold as the stone we had hewn his body from, when the lights were nearly all extinguished, we heard, in the silent distance, the man-pigs singing to one another. Then, as the last lights were gone, and we lay together in the deep, they drifted away, and all was silent. Such a silence I had never known. And as the dust settled on my open eyes, and we lay together embraced forever, I heard, miles above us, the sounds of the city turning over in its sleep. The church bell ringing out. And in that moment, the new century was born.
Hey guys, I'm actually editing out the things that I said during the credits of this game. When I finished this game, I was very irritated and tired. It was 4 o'clock in the morning, and I was emotional. I had been playing this game for 3 hours straight. I was really upset, and I said some things I shouldn't have. Some very rude things about the Chinese room. Just for transparency's sake, I think I said that this game was a circle jerk. It was an exercise in vanity, masqueraded as an Amnesia game, and I didn't appreciate the dishonesty. I think I called it pretentious and all sorts of things. But my opinion has changed since then. If you'd like, though, you can click on the link I've posted in the description. It's a thread I posted on the Frictional Games forum detailing my more immediate reaction. But it's been 3 days since I've beaten this game, and my opinion has changed. I think a lot of the enjoyment of this game hinges on what your expectations are going into it. And that goes without saying, but I'd really like to emphasize that, because even though I knew that the Chinese room developed this game, and I had played Dear Esther, and I had enjoyed Dear Esther even, I expected this game to be completely different, because when it was announced that they were going to develop it, I remember thinking to myself, wow, this will be a chance for them to branch out and show us what they can really do, It'll be a more interactive, gameplay-oriented adventure, and, basically, this is the only negative thing I'll say about the Chinese room. This game basically proved to me that they were unable to branch out, but that said, this game, even though it's really story-oriented, it has a very, very strong story. I haven't been able to stop thinking about this game for the past 3 days, so that proves at least a little bit how powerful and effective it was. I think that the story is much more dark and twisted and psychologically interesting than The Dark Descent was. And I think that if this same story had been paired with The Dark Descent's gameplay, I think there were a lot of awesome things about this game as well. Like the environments were beautiful, the soundtrack was great. It was a lot different than The Dark Descent's soundtrack, but it was still really neat. It was very beautiful. If all those things had combined with The Dark Descent's gameplay, I would have been thrilled with this game. The thing is, I came into it expecting a certain form of immersion that just was not there. I came in thinking that I was going to be able to, mess around with objects and, hide in closets and get chased by monsters, and none of that really happened. You weren't able to hide in any closets, or there were really no hiding places, but then again, there were really no true monster encounters. Let's be honest. But the thing about this game is, you're not supposed to be scared of the monsters. And I didn't realize that until we went through the pig zoo halfway through, but you're not supposed to be scared of them. You're supposed to be guilted by them and saddened by their plights and look inward, type of situation. And I didn't get that at the time but now looking back, I mean, I understand what they were trying to do with the monsters. But at the time when I was playing through, I just thought to myself, this isn't scary. They don't know what they're doing. But the truth is they wanted to do something different with this game. I just wish it had been communicated more effectively in, for one thing, the trailer. The trailers, I should say. You guys might remember the teaser trailer for this game. That's what got me all hyped up to begin with, because it was, a pig monster breaking down the door, looking around for you, and that sort of sequence, nothing even close to that happens in this game. But I've determined that this game really isn't supposed to be a horror game. It's supposed to be a dark, atmospheric, visual novel, basically. But one thing that really bothered me about, going through it is that it seemed at times they couldn't decide what they wanted it to be. It seemed, going from point A to point B and reading notes along the way is what 85% of the game is, but then there's that 15% where you're teased with this free will, like a monster comes in the room. What do you do? And it's like, well, you hide for like 5 seconds and then he's gone. That happened a couple times. And so it's like I was teased with this interactivity, this participatory element that was not there 5 minutes later, and it was back to reading notes and walking from point A to point B. Or I'd run across an object and I'd be like, oh, of course I can't interact with this, but then I would be able to, like in that room where you create Compound X and you throw it on the lock. There's a switch you can press that electrocutes a corpse. And it's just things like that. Apparently you can also play a game of billiards in your mansion. I don't know. I haven't tested that one out for myself. The point is, it seems like they tried to interject some interactivity when it would have been better with none at all. I mean, either give me full interactivity, which results in full immersion, or give me none. Like in Dear Esther. I would prefer all or nothing, but instead, this game, it felt like sort of a half and half bastardization, if you will. It was just kind of... it was very frustrating for me to play. I understand that it may be different to watch, but it was very frustrating to play. I had a lot of trouble becoming immersed in this game as a result of just my interaction with the environment. It was not consistent, and the immersion suffered, in my opinion. Like I said, if it would have been consistently interactive or consistently non-interactive, it would have been much easier for me to do. But since there was this half and half, like, oh, you get to make a decision, and then your hand gets slapped away and they say, just kidding, it not only felt oppressive, but it affected how I could get into the game. Overall, though, a really strong story, really strong voice acting. Congrats to the 2 voice actors who were a part of this game. They did an incredible job. And great soundtrack, great environments. It's just the main problems I have with this game can be boiled down to, I think, 3 things. One is how it was marketed with the trailers, and the Amnesia name just in itself carries so much. It carries so much to infer with it. So many things you think of when you think of Amnesia. And I think if this game had just been titled A Machine for Pigs and not Amnesia Machine for Pigs, it would have helped immensely. I understand that they had to include the name, though, because they were working with Frictional, and they were kind of trying to work within the same universe, and they were using HPL2 and whatnot. So that's the first problem, was how it was marketed. Second was the obviously the feeling like an observer or a spectator instead of a participator with the object interactivity. And some may say, well, what does the object interactivity really add? Well, I think it really adds immersion, because if I'm actually in this situation, you bet I'm gonna be searching the shelves for things that I can use to MacGyver into some sort of tool, or to things that could help me on my journey, or just even if I'm just flinging open empty drawers, that's fine. Just let me search. Let me make decisions. Let me make my own mistakes. And this game didn't let me make my own mistakes. It didn't let me make any mistakes at all. I think I died maybe once. I think I died once near the end when the electric pig killed me. Other than that, it was a seamless, linear gameplay experience. It was just, I was like following breadcrumbs, you know? Anyway, and then the third problem was that it was not scary. But I don't really think it was meant to be. So, yeah, those are my three main problems with the game. But overall, I think if you come into it with the right perspective, it's a solid experience. And I'm actually going to try to play it again with a new perspective and see how much I enjoy it then. So I'll post my thoughts if they are different than what I'm expressing to you now. All right. I know that was long. Thank you for listening if you did. Obviously, games are really important to me and horror games in general. Yeah. I'll thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Think critically.